You're listening to 30 Pounds Down, where losing weight is simplified with healthy habits. I'm Glenda Hill, a nurse turned holistic nutritionist. Let's go to the show. Hey, my sister, welcome to the show. Today, I want to dispel 3 weight loss myths that prevent you from achieving your ideal weight. If you struggle with weight loss and then gaining it back, that's frustrating. There's so much confusion around carbs and fats and sweets. That's going to lead to unnecessary restrictions, which can hinder your progress and make you feel defeated. And even worse, make you feel undernourished, which is part of the reasons why you lose the weight and you gain it back. So I want you to know you can achieve a balanced eating strategy that supports your weight loss goals and makes you feel energized and satisfied. If you're eager to start feeling better quickly and you want to transform your body weight, I have proven strategies that help. I'm so happy you're here with me today, so let's get started. The first myth is one of the biggest misconceptions, and that is eating fat makes you fat. I remember a time when I avoided pistachio nuts because I was thinking that pistachio nuts are fattening. But contrary to popular belief, healthy fats found in foods like avocados, nuts, and olive oil, they all meet our body's needs. They support brain function and hormone production and even help us to feel full longer. Now, I know this for a fact because when I eat my healthy fats, I'm satisfied eating just 2 meals a day. And even science backs me up on this. There are published studies showing that healthy fats like avocados and nuts are essential for our body function. And they're also good for your heart, for your brain, and your hormones. Another myth is that carbohydrates are the enemy. Have you ever felt guilty for eating bread? Well, in reality, not all carbs are created equal. Complex carbohydrates such as whole grains, fruits, vegetables, they all provide essential nutrients and energy. It's the refined carbs and sugars that you need to watch out for. Okay, so the complex carbohydrates, they have the fiber intact and they have nutrients, but the refined carbs have the fiber stripped away, 0 nutrients. Genesis 1:29 tells us God has given us every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth and every tree that has fruit with a seed in it. He said that's for your food. Did you know that whole grains are essentially seeds? They come from wheat, oats, barley. All of these are seed-bearing plants. Whole grains are packed with nutrients because they contain all parts of that seed. The bran, the germ, the endosperm. So don't deprive your body of nutritious, delicious foods that God has given us. Now, here's what you can do to avoid these myths and start enjoying the gifts of healthy food. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods and be mindful of the portion sizes. Sit down for lunch prepared with a colorful veggie salad and a good portion of cooked zucchini spaghetti with lemon and a drizzle of olive oil. Add some healthy fats like seeds, nuts, and natural sweeteners in moderation. So you can have a nourishing, tasty meal that satisfies you for hours. And if you want to have a piece of bread with that, that's okay. All right, you don't have to feel guilty. Now, the second myth we're going to talk about is stimulating foods. And I want you to know you're going to feel the difference when you stop believing these myths and start eating healthy foods, because this is something that is a real deception. So we need to pay attention here. Many people think that diet drinks and sugar-free foods are the healthier choices for weight loss. But the truth is a real eye-opener, because artificial sweeteners, which is what these diet drinks contain, and the sugar-free foods, they have artificial sweeteners. They increase your cravings for sugary foods, and it disrupts your metabolism. To get your body weight under control, I encourage you to make these changes. Swap out those artificial sweeteners for natural options like honey in moderation, okay? Or there's a sweet herb called stevia. Now, once the artificial chemicals are flushed out of your system, you will feel the difference in just a few days. No more jitteriness, no more anxiety that comes out of nowhere. You will naturally satisfy your sweet tooth using the natural sweeteners and herbs, and you're going to feel good. You're going to boost your metabolism without disrupting your sleep. And you know we need our sleep if we want to maintain a balanced body weight. So when we choose foods and drinks that nourish our bodies and honor God, we are expressing gratitude. And we're also valuing ourselves, right? 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, therefore, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. So this scripture encourages us to make mindful choices. We can free ourselves from that cycle of guilt. We don't have to feel guilty. And sometimes we feel like a victim to our bad habits. But we're not victims to bad habits, right, my sister? We are daughters of the King, and we joyfully live a life that glorifies God. Here's something that people don't often think about when it comes to stimulating foods, and that is alcohol. Now, alcohol, it can be in your medications, especially the liquid ones. It could be in supplements, and it can be in your drinks, right? Of course, and even wine, right? But you don't want to have alcohol stimulating you, because this is a deception in your body. It may stimulate good feelings initially, but then depresses the part of the brain that controls inhibitions. So even a single glass of wine with dinner or with our meals, it adds empty calories, and that is going to sabotage your weight loss goals. And don't forget about the sugary drinks, right? Those are also stimulating. And that includes the concentrated fruit juices, right? That can spike your insulin levels and lead to increased fat storage. We think that fruit juice is okay because it's a natural, healthy drink, but if it's concentrated, it's not. It's a deception. So that is a myth, okay? And I want you to stop believing it so that you can succeed on your weight loss. Okay, so now we're going to talk about food triggers. These are very, very tricky, very deceptive, so you want to watch out for this as well. Food combinations that trigger overeating, right? But who doesn't love chocolate-covered nuts? Well, the problem with that is that it combines a high fat with a high sugar, right? So that's one of the classic food combination triggers that lead to overeating. So a high fat food with a high sugar food is going to stimulate the brain's reward system. And that makes it hard to stop at just one. You may be thinking, oh, I'm going to have one donut, or I'm going to eat just a piece of cake, or I'm going to have just a couple of chocolate-covered nuts. And then you notice that you ate the whole bag without even realizing it. It's gone. I share that with you not so you can feel guilty about that, but I want you to know that even science backs this up. Foods high in sugar and fat can trigger overeating. by activating the reward centers in the brain. Isn't it fascinating how the brain responds to these foods? Well, Proverbs 23, verse 2 and 3, it makes us think about just how deceptive processed foods can be. All right, so if you are weak in self-control, I want you to take this seriously. Proverbs tells us, put a knife to your throat if you're given to gluttony. So when we approach our snacks or our foods, we have to approach it with self-control and moderation. It's also important to recognize the emotional triggers that lead to overeating. But that's not a myth, okay? That struggle is real. Many of us turn to food for comfort, especially during stressful times. But I encourage you, my sister, to plan ahead. If that's your tendency, then plan ahead and try finding healthier ways to cope with stress, like prayer, singing praise songs, or just going for a walk. Just be prepared to do these types of things rather than to reach for foods. To avoid all of these myths, I don't want you to fall for them anymore. I actually want you to stop believing these myths that carbs are the enemy, that if you eat fat, you get fat. We want to believe what's true. I have this proven strategy for you. Stick to balanced meals that contain fruits, vegetables, herbs, nuts, grains, and seeds to keep you nourished and feeling satisfied longer. Think of a meal of black beans and guacamole and roasted vegetables. You're going to swap out all of the artificial and unnatural ingredients, and you're going to add the natural foods, the natural sweetener. And this is going to help you to be nourished, keep you full, and help you to avoid those unhealthy combinations that lead to overeating. My friend, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends. And if you'd like to hear more, just subscribe to my channel and leave a review or a comment. I love hearing from you. Until next time, peace to you and have a great day.